Flames on the highway, smoke rising over a major city, panic inside an international airport. This was a scene in Guadalajara after Mexican forces killed one of the world's most powerful and elusive drug lords, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, the alleged leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, a global conglomerate with operations spanning the Americas, Europe, and parts of Asia. His death marks one of the most significant blows to organized crime in Mexico in recent years. The operation followed months of intense coordination and sustained pressure from the United States. Washington had placed a multi-million-dollar bounty on El Mencho, accusing him of systematically expanding a global drug trafficking network, responsible for funneling fentanyl and other narcotics into the U.S. amid a deadly overdose crisis. U.S. officials have long urged Mexico to target high-value cartel leaders. This killing appears to be a direct response to that pressure, but the aftermath was immediate and chaotic. Cartel members set up roadblocks, torched vehicles, and spread fear across parts of the city. Even flights were disrupted as security forces rushed to contain the situation around Guadalajara's International Airport. Mexican-American journalist Benjamin Zamora was on his way to the airport when the violence escalated.
We saw a group of armed men, and I could notice they were not police, they were not soldiers, they were wearing all black clothes and they had masks on and heavily armed. And that's when I realized that this was just not a simple situation, that this was a major operation of organized crime. They were targeting cars. They were basically trying to get any car they could get and burn it.
Benjamin and his wife were able to reach the airport, but once there, the chaos erupted.
People were very scared of what could happen at the airport because the airport has a history of being a place of involvement with the drug cartels and the criminal organizations. That's the place where Cardinal Posadas Ocampo was killed many decades ago when the drug wars started in Guadalajara, back when El Chapo was one of the major drug lords. And people were obviously panicking. They thought that armed men had breached the terminal.
And though they made it safely home, many flights were canceled or delayed. Now authorities say the situation is under control, but the incident has raised serious questions. Guadalajara is set to be one of the Mexican host cities for the upcoming FIFA World Cup. With millions of fans expected to travel through the region, security will now be under even greater scrutiny. Officials will need to demonstrate that major international events can proceed safely despite the threat of retaliatory cartel violence. Beyond Mexico, the impact could be global. Cartels like the Jalisco New Generation operate transnationally, sourcing chemical precursors from Asia, moving drugs through multiple continents, and laundering profits across international financial systems. In South Asia, experts warn that could mean heightened scrutiny on chemical manufacturing hubs, ports, and shipping corridors that are sometimes linked directly or indirectly to the global synthetic drug trade. Governments in the region may face increased pressure from Washington to tighten export controls on dual-use chemicals, strengthen customs enforcement, and crack down on money laundering networks that move profits across borders. Security analysts also warn that when a major cartel leader is removed, supply chains don't disappear, they adapt. That could shift trafficking routes toward new transit points across Asia, creating fresh challenges for law enforcement agencies already balancing counterterrorism, cybercrime, and regional instability. For the United States, this is a strategic win in its fight against fentanyl trafficking. For Mexico, it could spark a power struggle within the cartel and possible waves of retaliation. And for the world watching ahead of a global sporting event, the question is whether this death marks a turning point or the beginning of a new, unstable chapter.